Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Well, there's two fans that iRacers should know very well, especially every racetrack. And of course, this racetrack is a little different than what we're used to here at the Circuit of the Americas, as we go NASCAR racing MX5 style to see who will take the challenge of the latest round of the DRSCCA SUPERLAP MX5 Cup Championship. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching us around the world on Apex Racing TV. My name is Jeremy Scott, Charles Beauchelle, alongside with Omet back in the booth, making us sound oh so good. Of course, she's also making sure our barbecue is nice and warm for us after we get off the air. Well, Charles, this is going to be a different layout. We're not used to running the shorter NASCAR style layout, but it looks like the drivers are handling it quite nicely.
Yeah, so far it looks to be going pretty well for the drivers out there. Yeah, it's I've kind of driven the West layout, but I've never really taken a car around the NASCAR version of the West layout. So it's about probably 2/3 of the normal COTA layout. With some variations, but it's going to be an interesting race night. We'll see how the drivers adapt to that. It's going to make the racing, I think, a little bit tighter actually, because we've taken away 2/3 of the backstretch. So any of the drafting that the drivers thought they might have going in is going to be severely reduced. So you're just going to be constrained to that big long train coming down the front straight. And the rest of it's going to be some technical driving. You're going to have to deal with all the curves that COTA has to offer, and so just looking forward to it. It's going to be a good race, I think.
Well, of course, remember the only time the West layout was really used in earnest, not talking about the one we're using today, the NASCAR West layout, but the West layout was used in earnest for the V8 Supercars, so their one and only appearance here at the Circuit of the Americas. Sadly, we should come back, but that's neither here nor there. Qualifying in earnest right now with just a handful of minutes left. Sean Fritz, fastest on the pole with a 48.650. Let's see what Lincoln Olsen can do coming off of turn 19 and into turn 20. We're still using the regular numbering, as I had to think about that one for a second. And Olsen goes purple in that second sector. Of course, we're using the proper finish line here. It runs fourth fastest with a 49.266. Now, one thing that Omet even noticed when we were getting ready is holy lack of lack of track limits here.
yeah. You know, with the NASCARs, they give those cars a wide berth because obviously those things are really designed for just turning left, and they run the road courses at certain areas. Watkins Glen and Sonoma are just historic NASCAR road circuits. But the COTA is a little bit of a new deal for them. So luckily, because this is an F1 spec track, lots of concrete runoff, so these guys can take a couple wide corners without too much damage. I don't expect us to see people that are going to have issues with the incident limit tonight. So I think that's going to be good. That's going to keep a lot more cars up on the track during the course of the evening.
I think if we're going to have any issues with track limits, it's going to be for drivers cutting the course instead of going wide, which we see more often than not in the MX-5s. As once again, we're back on Lincoln Olsen, fourth fastest so far. You saw Lincoln going around Alex Larson. They're at a 53.856 in 23rd position. So you see on the left-hand side of your screen, Ryan Carwile. Yeah, that's the name we don't see up front normally. 49. 257, the fastest out of the number 71. Your fastest AM driver so far, Matthew Manarino, with a 49.723. Let's see what some of these drivers can do as Olsen crosses the line. 49.266, 49.624 is actually what he's going to do this time by Manarino. There he is coming around turn number 20. Heavy on the brakes in that vintage Mazda livery. Take that one off just a little bit, down the straightaway once again. 8th fastest overall for the amateur driver. And Hayden Salka not too far away either in 9th place. So Manarino does not improve, 52.668, but still lots of time left, maybe 1 or 2 flyers that these drivers can get in. And it looks like so far everybody flowing quite nicely.
Yeah, it does. It's you know, we've only got about 6 cars that are within that 1 second. But with a course like this, kind of expected. Obviously, not a lot of experience for a lot of these drivers on here. I think this is the first time that I can remember us coming to COTA. So it's a little bit of a new animal, and which just tends to stretch the field out just a bit. But as the drivers get a little more experience and a little more laps under their belt, you'll see those times starting to come down and tighten that field up. But we got a nice field tonight. It's like 26 cars will be taking part. So looking forward to, once again, I think that's going to make for a really good race tonight. Probably see a lot of really big mid-pack battles, especially from about P7 where Latta is down to about, P16 or so. So, those cars within like a second and a half, we'll get this good draft up the hill into turn 1. And I think it's going to make for some really exciting racings. We see that's just a little bit wide by golf there. That will be a track limit infringement if you're in the grass. I will guarantee that one.
As we see Ryder, your points leader in most races won so far this season, in 4th place as Lincoln Olsen bumps his way up to 3rd. He's going to call session as the checker flag is out. Let's see if Ryder can come in and improve upon his time, which he set last time by a 49.253. And I always like to tell people, if you think that the COTA track is steep going into turn 1 is steep on TV, wait till you see it in person. It is a whole new level of steep when you see it for the first time.
I can believe it. It's almost like they're driving up the side of a mountain to get up to turn 1. It doesn't drop off quite as quickly, but still with the S's there from 2 through about turn 5, it makes the downhill descent just about as difficult as the uphill.
So we'll see what Ryder can do. Are he across the line again? 49.253. His fastest time. What does he do this time? It is as we await the crossing the line, I think that he may have copped a 1 or 0X because he has not logged a time. So 49.253, the fastest out of the number 17.
Yeah, just it did look like that just could not got quite improve enough to move up. But once again, still pretty close up at the top of the field there, as we've now got another car within that second. So we see the car off. I think that might have been Rodney Gibson there, losing a little bit in the S's. There's some things that we'll have to talk about for this track. Obviously, I talked a little bit about the S's section. Very difficult. It's much tighter than you think. You really can't do a lot of cutting, especially on the inside. Those anti-cut curbs will absolutely destroy the front of your car, the suspension of your car, if you catch too much of it. So you have to be very careful there. And so it's going to require some very finesse driving through certain sections of this track.
Well, that is qualifying, as we see, at least Gibson still doing laps out there before he gets shut off. Of course, located on the world-renowned Woodward Avenue in Berkeley, Michigan. SUPERLAP is a sim drive studio space to meet and compete with professional-grade racing simulators. They are a premier racing and drive experience venue. They will help you achieve your motorsports goals with education, practice, and training. Many of your favorite racers use a sim. Why shouldn't you? You can race and practice against an AI roster, go head-to-head with other humans, or both. They offer league play like the DRSCCA League. Go to superlap.world for details. And I do know that they have a hot lap competition going on. The track this time is the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, and they're playing some pretty cool things from what I'm hearing over there. I think they're going through a little bit of a remodel, according to their Facebook page. So that's something cool to think about as well.
Yeah, very, very cool. And that's a good track to have a hot lap competition on. It's a very, very difficult course, Mid-Ohio. As we see them lining up, looks like we're going to get us a nice standing start here and let these drivers do a little bit of driving amongst in some tight traffic, as they want to do here. As it's like we're starting to slow down and getting lined up 2 by 2, just like they're jumping on the arc as they work their way around through this little S section here. So yeah, it's I do like this concept. I think this is really good, especially when you're getting ready to do a race. You've got a warm-up session, and just let the drivers get comfortable in some tighter traffic. You kind of feel out what to expect amongst the other competitors. I think it works out really well, and it gives them a chance as they start revving them up. And so it looks like it was actually not a standing start this time. It was just a little bit of a slow rolling start. So we're coming out of the caution period, and we're going to do a little bit of side-by-side racing for a few minutes.
And like you said, the warm-up session just gives, the drivers a chance to get ready. And a little bit of bump in there, not a big deal. But either way, it still gets them, a chance to get ready for the prime for the race. It's a long warm-up session, so plenty of time to get it done. By the way, Waterford Hills Road Racing is Metro Detroit's only permanent sanctioned road course, located in Clarkston, Michigan. Waterford Hills hosts 6 race weekend series, competition driving school, and 9 public open track days. The track goes out 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and it's open to the public. A nominal $5 entry fee is all it takes to get you close to the action. Check out waterfordhills.com for details. And with the warm weather we've had here in the Midwest, it's getting, I bet you a lot of drivers out there just getting itchy to get their car out on track.
Yeah, I've got a couple in my team that are trying to get into the Champ Car Series and working on some cars. And it was like, okay, we're running Bathurst this weekend. Remember that? Oh, are we? so no, I was like, I was going to work on my car this weekend. I was like, well, you have to wait for a day or two. So yeah, so it is spring is starting to get here, as we see them just beating and banging a little bit there coming through one. That is a little bit of learning that just happened as they work their way through. As it was still more learning going on there, as you see a car sliding off the track. So it is getting toward that time of year when everybody wants to get outside and do some driving, whether it be on a track or just going to a track and watching a race. I know we've got a couple down here coming up in the next couple of months with Barber ramping up and Talladega for the NASCAR side. So it's going to be fun here, probably around April for me.
Say, yes, I think Yeah, it's going to be one of those times of the year where the weather just gets absolutely beautiful. I know I was walking around in shorts. It's like, I could go for a couple of watch some hot laps around here, but nobody was open yet here in the Midwest. But maybe that's just a good thing. We don't want to tease anybody.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So we're on board here with Sean Fritz and Andrew Moed. Had some good qualifying there from those guys. So expect to see some battling amongst them as we get ready to start this race. So once again, I think we've got a good group. We'll see that top 5 or 6 doing battle early. We'll see how many of them can stay in touch of the leaders and that lead group. But we've got a big mid-pack field that are going to be racing hard for 30 minutes here as as we're watching Andrew Moed heading up the hill. And yeah, just look at that. You can just kind of see the elevation there. And yeah, that's the one thing that iRacing, there's 2 things iRacing really can't simulate very well. And the one is the visual thing of just the elevation changes on a track. And then the other is obviously the G-forces that the car produces when you're driving. Haven't figured out how to do that one yet. When they do, though, they'll have themselves a moneymaker.
Yeah, they really will. And I think then you'll see more and more professional racing series on, in iRacing, to say the least. But until then, there's just, these fun series, to say the least. As Fritz, your fastest 51.201, but you're looking out the back of Andrew Moed. And yeah, there's not many opportunities to draft here like there would be if we were running the full Grand Prix track. So there's that. But this is going to come down to driver skill tonight, with every move being, microscopic for drivers trying to get around.
Yeah, it really is. It is going to be, even though the West Circuit of this is still a pretty long track, it is going to be very, very technical, and it is going to be a really good test of the driver's skill in some medium and high speed corners that may not have a lot of experience with. And so it's going to be interesting to watch. You just see how much of that inside they can just cut. And I think that might have been a little bit too much there by Sean. So I think he cut it a little too close and has to slow down. So he's going to have to kind of lift that, let that go. Although, even if he gets a penalty at this point, you just, reset back to the pits and start over. But I think he's going to try and work that off and stay out on the track for as long as he can here during this warm-up period. Is where it's not something you see every day, a crash on pit lane, and that's very interesting. I think that just might have been some guys having a little bit of fun there before they get serious about the racing tonight.
Yeah, no one who seen Alex Lorson, Lincoln Olsen. Yeah, no surprise here. Yeah, that's just. Yeah. Okay. Just
yeah, exactly. As we get a little bit of it's a little late in the day for donuts. I'm just saying.
Either way, warm up almost over here. As Mike Schmidt, we haven't seen this car out too much, sitting 5th fastest. And, we're coming near the end of this season so far. Not many more opportunities to make some sort of advantage happen. Let me take a look at the schedule here. What is it? Is it calendar, point standings? Schedule. There we go. We've got Laguna Seca, Road Atlanta, and Portland after this. So only 3 more rounds to make something happen. Point standings, they're kind of, it's hard. We've been having some issues with the points here, but we can just say this: Ryder's out front.
Yeah, I think so. I think Ryder is out front. But we've had some other drivers that have obviously Ryan Goff has had some really good results. Lincoln Olsen as well. And so we've got some other drivers out there who have raced really hard and have got some really good finishes. So it's not just a one-man show, as I've seen before in other broadcasts, whereas you've got one driver versus the field, and sometimes that's fun to watch, but a lot of times it's really not. You get some good battles amongst the other drivers. But for the most part, when you've got a driver out by, leading by 10 or 15 seconds, it's kind of anticlimactic. But I will say this: you missed a good race on Tuesday night as Apex picked up the SUPERLAP, the DRSCCA series in the F4s, and we had a very, very spirited race at Snetterton on Tuesday night. Battle for the win came down to the final corner. So it was a really good in a Snetterton track that started dry and ended wet and made for some very challenging conditions. And the drivers did a really good job. A lot of the drivers that we saw there on Tuesday night are regulars here on Thursday.
Well, and that's the thing, too. F4s and Snetterton, it's just such a great combination. So no surprise there. And great to see that we picked up the Tuesday night DRSCCA series here at Apex. I always love to hear it when we get more and more racing throughout the, with some of these leagues. Because, you see, one league do one race. Well, they could have other leagues throughout the week as well. So that's absolutely fantastic to see that through the pipeline. And more opportunities for these drivers to go out and showcase the fun that they have with SUPERLAP and the Detroit Region SCCA. By the way, thank you to the Michigan Turn Marshals for their support. If you want to get close to the action, be sure to check out MichiganTurnMarshals.org. They can train you to support races like the Detroit Grand Prix. And of course, once you learn how to be a corner marshal at one place, you could go basically worldwide and go work, get close to the action around the world with different series. Checker flag is out on this warm-up session, so that will do it there. Steve Myers and Dale Jr., they should be closer to the track and not at the Germania Insurance Amphitheater. They're not going to see too much, or, it is what it is. Gridding up for this race is happening right now. Let's take a look at our field. It's Sean Fritz, your pole sitter, alongside Andrew Mowat. Then it's Lincoln Olson and Ari Ryder in row 2. Row 3, Ryan Carwile and Ryan Goff. 4, Zane Cross and Brennan Lotta. Row 5, your amateurs, it's Matthew Manarino, Hayden Saka. And in row 6, Charles, is Shea Devereaux and Ahmed Beydoun.
Yeah, and in 13th is Chris Murray. 14th will be Richard Scheib. Dom Batts returning back in 15th. Drew Leonard starts in 16th. Trent McMillian will start in 17th. Andrew Herschel will start in P18. Rodney Gibson, the SUPERLAP driver, in the 006, starting in 19th. Ethan Armbruster will start in 20th. Rounding out the rest of the field, you've got Mike Smith starting in 21st. Alex Larson starting in 22nd. 23rd is Jackson Olson. Dave Oken starting in 24th. Ruben Gutierrez will start in P25, and Ryder Poe will round out your 26-car field tonight.
See if Ryder can take it from shotgun on the field, how many positions young Mr. Poe can make up as the field working their way through the stadium section. The Porsche pace car puts the field through their paces. We know what we can see here, COTA, on a regular circuit. But Charles, what do you think we're going to see here tonight?
Yeah, I think it's going to be might have a little bit of drama early, but I think it'll settle down. There's obviously, once again, this is as far as tracks go, this is a pretty technical little track. As far as a lot of medium to high speed cornering. Some places where you have to do a lot of hard braking to get the car wrapped around the corner properly. And then you get the elevation change to turn 1. It's going to be a nice view as the cars barrel down into turn 1 for the first time. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, a fantastic race, I think, tonight. So we got a really good track layout. We got a great group of drivers that are going out here and give us a show, and we'll see what happens as we wrap around the final corner here and get ready to get this race underway.
The pace car pulls off into the pits, goes down the long pit road. Sean Fritz, Andrew Mowat on the front row. It is a long run to that start line, as it is the finish line, the FIA start line at near the end of pit road. Lincoln Olson and Ari Ryder sit there. We are green as they slowly make their way through, and now we start to fan out 2, 3, 4 wide past the start finish line, and we're 3 wide for the lead as Mowat, Fritz, and Olson 1, 2, 3. Fritz has the advantage so far. Lincoln Olson's got to get the nose out front. We're 4 wide through turn 1, and already we have a spinner that's Brendan Lotta, a little bit of sideways, and really that's our only problem. So we've made it through turn 1 with minimal damage.
Yeah, Brendan Lotta got a little pit maneuver there as they were going into the corner 4 wide. It is the trick about turn 1 is you can go in probably 4 wide. You're not coming out 4 wide. You're going to have to get that settled. Ooh, as we got a big spin in the back of the field.
Yeah, that's the SUPERLAP driver who's involved in that. So Gibson's involved, Poe and Olsen both get slow down penalties, and there is the 18 spinning around as well. So already a little bit of argy-bargy. Larson's involved in that incident as well. And I think we got one more car who's been pinned up. So lots of problems already on Lincoln. Olsen, though, with the early advantage. Carwile sitting there in second place. I believe Gutierrez, Armbruster, also been involved in some incidents. So we've got a lot of replays to go through. Gutierrez with the meatball, so he'll have to come in and take some sort of fix with that. Mowat goes to the inside of Fritz. They're side by side heading into the stadium section. Oh,
yeah,
look at that already.
That, but there were 4 or 5 cars there. You can just see the the spinning, and there's a little bit of a pit maneuver. Another one there, that's Olsen, I believe, that was involved with that. And then that was the trying to get the number off that white car there, the 29 car of Chris Murray, who was also involved, as we're on board here with Ryan Goff as they work their way around and back around to end the first lap, start lap number 2.
It's amazing how long a lap takes. Again, this is a 30-minute race. So we won't be seeing too many laps here, but either way, now that we're up to full speed, we'll get to see what these cars can do. Carwile all over the back of Olsen with that nice little drive. You're looking off the back of Goff as Saka and Baydoun are right back there as well. Ethan Armbruster into the pits. Ryder Poe in a battle with Chris Murray as well, 4:15. So we'll keep an eye on that as Don Botts falls down through the order. So not sure what happened there. And we mentioned that these wide open spaces, yeah, it's great to have, but sometimes when you have those wide open spaces, you're going to lose a lot more places than you would with natural terrain.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. There's a lot of room to run off, but that's every couple of meters there, you're just losing time. Great job by Ryder Poe. We'll call him out up to 15th. Hope that on commentator curse him, but managed to get through all that debris there in the scuffle there going through turn 1. Has managed to get through cleanly. Is up to 15th. So good start by Poe, starting from the back of the field as we're on board here with Moed. And now we're back to Jackson Olsen as he works his way around. I think that is probably turn 9.
That's 19.
Something like that. So yeah, it's kind of mid course there. So we go to 3 wide through this section. This is that triple apex right-hander that leads to the final 2 corners. Very, very difficult section. You're carrying a lot of speed through there. As you can see with Baydoun there, able to run that off wide and get back out on track. That is very much a standard NASCAR run there. I think they tried to let the Indy cars do that. Oh, as they're spinning the back of the pack as well. As Leonard around coming out of the final corner.
Yeah, and that's another driver who deserves props is Baydoun, as he's up 7 spots into the top 5. Let's take a look and see what happened to Leonard. I have a feeling he's just too fast going into turn 20. That catches you out each and every time. And yeah, he was a groove too high, and just the back end wanted to see what that front end's looking at. And because you're carrying so much speed through there, it's just a quick whip around. And I have no problem giving the commentator's curse to Ryder Poe, because knowing his dad, Ryder needs to learn a thing or two. So it's either he gets the curse from me or words from his dad. So Steve, you're welcome. Still watching Andrew Mowat hold off Hayden Saka, and Saka all of a sudden is your amateur leader from 7th place, and he's looking pretty good so far in that number 43 down that back straightaway into the heavy left-hander of turn number 12 as Mowat tried to get around the inside of Baydoun, but Mowat's going to have to hold on to Saka as Saka's going to go to the inside in turn number 13, and it's going to be a 3-wide sandwich here.
Ooh!
The spin!
That was Mowat off. It looked like he just ran out of racing room there as they were 3 wide through the corner, and I think maybe moved a little bit to the left and kind of caught the front bumper of the car on the outside, which I think was Baydoun, and around he goes off the track. I once again don't think there's anything out there for him to hit, so he should be able to get restarted and back out on the track, but obviously losing lots and lots of time in the process.
The only thing he has to hit is at Tech Pro barrier not too far away. So there's that. But yeah, it's going to be easy to get back. By the way, Ethan Armbruster out of the race after contact in lap 1. Oh, that's a nice dive to the inside by Zane Cross. Tried to make it work, but wasn't able to. As you're on board with Ryder Poe, he's going to latch onto the back of Zane Cross and actually do the slingshot down the front straightaway. So Poe going to go up one more spot to 11th. Can he make his way into the top 10 by the end of this lap? I think so. He's doing quite well for himself in spite of having that right front damage. But again, here tonight, you're gonna have some sort of damage.
Yeah, they see a lot of cars. You see the car that he's battling with Cross as well has very similar damage on the front of that car. So, it's going to be good if you're behind. You get that good slingshot, then you pull the nose out, and, it's like hitting a brick wall of air as it just kind of arrests your run. And could not pull it off, but now he's going to take an inside run as Cross gets caught up there on the outside behind a couple other cars. I think he made that move stick that time.
You could also say Cross got crossed up as now loses one spot to Poe. But the more I looked at that angle that Omet had on the crossover from the NASCAR crossover, might as well call it that. I can see why so many drivers are having their right fronts just all dinged up. That's another spot as Manarino locks up the brakes somehow. Not sure what happened there between 12 and 13 as he just spins it. So yeah, Ryder Poe makes his way into the top 10 with that. Let's take a look at the replay as Manarino just gets there and comes around turn number, just loses it.
Yeah, just loses the rear, and I think he had to increase his brake pressure there in the corner as a couple of cars in front, or a car in front, car beside him, kind of checked up a little bit, and he had to just kind of check his car up and got the nose too far down on the ground and raised the rear up and spun it around. Once again, be able to recover that and get back out there as we see Alex Larson here working through that corner. I think that might have been 9 and just too much curb there. Once again, those anti-cut curbs will cause a lot of damage to the car and will obviously make it very, very difficult to make the corner as it bounces that car around and really kind of shifts the weight the wrong way. So Larson's going to get that spin, recover it, and get back out there. I think we'll see a few more of those tonight as Fritz is out there with a severely damaged vehicle, front bumper completely gone, but still running in P9. So he was down behind that group of Poe and Cross there for a little bit, and so he's kind of working his way back up toward the front. Still got some good pace in the car, but obviously not going to be optimal pace. So he's going to have to do his best he can to try and make up the stagger with these cars up front, still trying to fight for position.
As you see Scheib get around Lada for position. That's Lada and Scheib are battling each other right now as Scheib goes to the inside. Lada goes to the inside, gets that 7th spot. Remember, Fritz was on the front row, so to have that damage so far this early this race, it just goes to show you how tough this racetrack is on these MX5 Cup cars as we're still working our way around with about almost a third of the race already over with Lincoln Olson, your early race leader, followed by Ryan Carwile. My tongue's tight tonight. And Ari Ryder sitting there in 3rd place. So got a couple of good gaps there, a couple of good groups, I should say. You got this Lee Pack 3 that we've been watching. You've got this battle for 7th there between Lada and Scheib, and also you've got the Fritz Herschel Poe battle there.
And that Fritz Herschel Poe battle is even a little bit further back as you got Cross, Mowat, Devereaux, Murray in that group as well. So they're within reach of that battle as they're just waiting for somebody some cars to go side by side, and it's game on all over again. But that battle we saw with Lada and Scheib it really helped out Fritz and the rest of that group. They've made up about a second and a half on that group. So they're hoping that Lada and Scheib keep that going as we see Ryder taking it to the inside there of Carwile and he's going to take it back over P2, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time to Olson, but now it's up to Ryder to start closing that gap back down.
Jim Ryder checking in, saying he's watching from Southwest Florida. Of course, it's definitely warmer than what it is up here in the Midwest. Ocon with a slowdown penalty. He has served that. And look at Poe trying to get involved in this battle for 10th place with Cross and Herschel up ahead. And we're looking out the front of Mowat. That's another driver who, that's a nice little dive to the inside that Mowat had in the Larson's Biscuits Peniston Oils MX-5. Easily, that's got to be my favorite paint scheme of the year. Yeah, sure. But still, Mowat with a nice little dive there. He fell back big time after a great start out of his car. And of course, then you've got Devereaux, who also trying to make some hay while the iron's hot.
Yeah, absolutely. As this is another battle. They just that little group there from Fritz and Ninth just keeps kind of growing with Herschel, Cross, and now Mowat, Poe, Devereaux, Murray, all the way down to P15. So you got that nice mid-pack battle there as these cars are still trying to fight for position and make a pass when they can get one. There's some very aggressive moves being made out there, and for the most part, clean moves, and that's been the best part of it is they're making moves, but they're really high percentage moves to the inside, making that dive down, and the other cars are keeping an eye out for the rest of the traffic. So it's been some pretty nice little racing there as we see Cross in front of Herschel. Looks like that's a position gain there for Herschel as he's now up to P11 as they cut that quick corner there, and you see the little crossover but to the back stretch. So we'll get a little bit of this run down, and we'll see if anybody makes a dive down to the inside here. It's a good spot.
Oh, it really is. And, for as much flack as these Herman Tilke F1 tracks get for being too wide, too boring, this, in my opinion, has got to be his crown jewel facility because, yes, it's wide. Yes, there's expansive runoff, but that's what F1 requires of their races. Yep. It's still a very racy racetrack, and it doesn't matter if Herschel loses a spot to Mowat, by the way. It does not matter if you're running an MX-5, if you're running a Formula One car, or if you're running a superbike. It is an extremely racy racetrack.
It really is. Yeah, it's you're right. It is very wide. It makes for side-by-side battles. It really does. And it gets a lot of flack. It's very difficult. I think in iRacing, if you ever run a course, if you hear people talking about how bad a course is, generally it's because they haven't run enough laps there to get a good feel for how to drive the track. iRacers by and large are just very picky people. Give me all the special event tracks. I'll be happy. You go off to a place like COTA, and then it's like, I can't drive this. This track's, blah, 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 blah. As we see Brennan Latta going around, jumping the curb a little bit there, losing the rear of the car. So I think the tracks get better. The more laps you get on it, the more comfortable you are with it. I think it becomes a lot more fun.
And we'll see Charles be featured on the Reddit Sim Racing Stewards with that comment later tonight. Richard Scheib with trying to hold off Sean Fritz and Ahmed Beydoun, which, by the way, Beydoun had to take the slowdown penalty not too long ago. And that's something I want to touch on as well, as Dom Botts will have to visit pit road with a mechanical black flag. But what I find interesting is drivers, it seems like in the past 6 months, it's not just here, it's everywhere up and down the iRacing system. Drivers are getting more and more clever with using the slowdown penalty, and they're able to use it to their advantage in braking zones and not lose as much time as you usually would, because you still have that time that you absolutely have to take that slowdown penalty, but you still can use it to your advantage.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's once the racing is, here are the rules. And if you can make the rules work to your advantage, that's what you're going to do. As I hear, I think that was Ryder Poe on the mic, and I see him dropping down the order. So obviously, I think something happened to young Mr. Poe. And I did hear an apology.
Well, Scheib also had a slowdown penalty. Let's see what happens. Looks like it might be car contact, and Oh, I don't know. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if that was Poe as much as that was Devereaux, because Devereaux made kind of a little bit of a late move. See if I can get another view on that. But that's going to happen in these big, expansive, wide racetracks. As we're watching the point of view from Ryder Poe. You know, I would call that a racing incident, because at that point, you know, Devereaux had to pop out at the last second to avoid rear-ending somebody. And I don't think Shea knew that Ryder was there.
Yeah, I think I would. Ooh. Serious damage.
Baydun involved in an incident. Let's see what happens here as we get instant replay as Baydun falls back to 14th in position and just spins. Who was that that had nowhere to go?
Yeah, could not see who that was, and it's probably might have been Shibe, maybe. Anyway, to go back to the Poe incident, I think you're right. I think racing incident, just two cars going for the apex of the corner from different angles. See it all the time. Doesn't mean, you know, we're not the stewards, so we're not dishing out penalties. We'll let somebody else make the final judgment there. But yeah, tough break for Baydun. Lost the rear of the car right behind him, nowhere to go. Gets hit in the rear, then gets hit in the front. So damage on both ends of the car. It looked like the one in the rear was on the corner, so maybe some suspension damage for that car. I see Baydun coming into the pits. That car might not be drivable right now.
No, and you know, that's just, you know, it's just two incidental issues happening at the same time. You definitely don't want to see something like that, as Devereaux trying to push Murray into turn one, but Murray says, no, get off my rear bumper. I don't really need that, as both those drivers battling for 11th place. Herschel not too far behind either, so we'll see how this battle plays out. Either way, a nice tight battle that had a couple of fast comers around, but unfortunately lost a couple of them. Oh man, that was a little argy-bargy there. And
I think we found the car that was behind Baydun.
I was just saying, look at that front end of Shibe's front end just absolutely all tore up. I wonder how well he can see out that. Not well at all. Yeah, that's a little difficult. He's got about, you know, obviously can't see the nose of the car. See about half the windshield, the top half, as he's still trying to battle there with Moed, and he is going to just struggle for the rest of the race. Until either he hits it again and it just completely flies off, or it's terminal. But once again, it's they'll keep running until they can't run anymore, till it's, you know, as they say, checkers or wreckers. So he'll get out there and he'll continue to make laps, and he'll have battles, as we see Lada now come working his way around. Obviously, Shibe's car not going to be very aerodynamically sound for the remainder of the race. I think he's the only driver who's really happy we're not running that fullback straightaway. Well, because who was it? Was it Fritz or Olsen last time out that at Mid-Ohio they had the issue with the hood?
Yeah, you know, I don't remember, but yeah, I think it was one of those two. So it was, very, very similar situation. Ooh, off the wall there by the 71 car of Carwile, as he brushes that Tech Pro barrier there on the right front. I could not see if there was any damage on it, but that was it wasn't a terrible hit, but it obviously something he felt, because you could see the car shudder a bit as it hit the wall.
Yeah, and those Tech Pro barriers, while as soft as they are, they still have a little bit of give, to say the least. But either way, this battle for position has been going on quite some time. So there's always that as we work our way around out of the stadium and around the amphitheater. And that's one thing I didn't do when I was at COTA. I didn't go up the tower, because there was no way in heck I was going to stand up there 92 degrees when it was hot, humid. Ugh.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got to get out to COTA. It's still one of those that I haven't hit yet. So it'll be one of these days. Probably an F1 weekend. I'll get lucky and can get a couple of tickets and drive out. It's it's a nice little 12-hour drive from Birmingham out to Austin. So it wouldn't be too bad as things go. As we're on board now with Cross with the battle there with Brennan Latta, as they've kind of just checked out over Scheib, who is losing time. But I've kind of shout out a little bit as now Goff is around Reuter. Something happened to Ryder. I'm sorry. Ari has dropped down to P4, and Goff has made his way up to P3. So we're going to get a replay here of this pass as we're on board here. And oh yeah, that was a help around, unfortunately, by Goff there, as he made a little contact with the left rear of Ari Ryder going into turn 1 and caused him to spin the car around. So that's how he made up. But I was going to give a shout out to Goff, but I think that is to make up, because he's made up a few seconds in that P4 position. Made up some time to get up there to battle with Ryder, and then that may have canceled that out right there.
That was Gaynor who had the hood up at Mid-Ohio. I had to look for myself, so we'll see what happens. And honestly, my recommendation for you, F1 would be cool, but I think it'd be even cooler because you can get closer to the action is when WEC shows up, because you get all sorts of cool technology.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've done the WEC race. I was at the Super Sebring weekend, the last one they did. So it was a fantastic event, and we'd love to go back and watch WEC. Unfortunately, my Glickenhaus team does no longer run in WEC, but there you go. So I'll get a chance to see those lovely Cadillacs out there running around and causing trouble at COTA.
Oh, the Valkyrie, come on. You cannot go wrong with the V12 prototype.
That's more, it's a beautiful car, but I think it's the sound that really sets it apart from the rest of them. So, yeah.
Matt's saying the Cadillac sounds so good. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It really reminds me of the Daytona prototypes of when I was coming up through the announcing system. And anyway, let's just go back to this. Take a look at this replay here, and that's going to be, I'd imagine, a spin out of the 26 coming around turn 13. Jackson Olsen. Nope, Jackson. Just, you can't park there, mate. You can't park there, mate.
You cannot park there. That is absolutely true. And just a quick reset back to the pits, or Alt F4 completely. I think Jackson said, I think I've had enough of this tonight, and is no longer in the race. But that's a little bit of a dangerous parking spot, I would agree, as we saw Larson come through there just at the very end. So now back to this battle again with Cross and Latta. Cross now is in front of Brennan Latta, so he's taken over that P8 position and has set his sights forward. He's still got about 4 seconds or so to get to P7 of Andrew Mowat. So he's got a tough road to hoe there with about six minutes or so left.
Tell you what, Ryder Poe, after his little ta-ta-ta in turn number 20, he's really making up ground, takes that dive to the inside for P13, now sets his sights on Herschel, and Manarino also going to go up. That's another driver who encountered some problems earlier on in the race, also making his way up through the field. So those two, one's a pro, one's an AM, both of those, I'd consider them both rookies at this point, still making their way up through the field. But I think once Poe gets around Herschel, that's probably going to be about as high as he gets, as Scheib, in spite of his issues, still running in the top 10. But how long will that last as Murray looks to the inside, going to tuck right back in? I've got to say this, as little as Scheib could see, the engine cooling in that MX-5 still got to be absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's definitely cool inside the engine bay of that car, as Murray is just looking and saying, how come I haven't gotten by this guy yet? And so it's closing the gap now. Once out of turn 1, it's now 3.5 tenths. So he's going to start looking around again to see if he can find a place to make a corner, get an advantage here, as Scheib is doing his absolute level best to try and hang on to that top 10 position. Has driven a great race, all things considered. So we're coming to the little crossover here, and Murray still closing that gap down, getting a good run out of the crossover down the little backstretch section and has got that move locked in, and easy does it around, and Scheib fighting back on the outside and manages to get back around. I think Murray may have cut himself off there just a little bit with that really tight turning angle going into turn number 9. So he's got to do a little more work there, as now Poe is working his way around, or fighting with Herschel for the battle for P12. And nice little crossover there by Ryder Poe. Seems like he knows what he's doing a little bit. Still on the outside, though, not going to be able to make that move just yet, but I'm looking for him to make that dive to the inside here again in short order.
I think he will indeed. And with the 2 racing for 10th place, I have a feeling that if this continues on the way it does, and these guys can hook up or at least make something happen here. Let's see what happens in turn number 20 as Poe looks to the inside, and he's going to get the good pass through turn 20. Now sets his sights on that Murray Scheib battle. 3 wide though now for 12th, as I've spoken too soon, as Manarino's entered into the conversation once again. Manarino's going to look a little bit wide. Can they go 4 wide as Devereaux looks every which way but sideways around turn 1, and Devereaux going to close in on this battle. So hold the phone here. The 12th place not sealed up yet.
Not sealed up yet. They're still battling hard up there. Herschel hanging on that spot, but Manarino looking to the inside there through the S's, is going to get that move almost made and doesn't quite get there, has to back it off. And now that's going to be Poe back on the back end of Herschel again, looking around on the outside. He's going to try and cross over here. Not quite enough yet, but here comes the run to the inside. Going to make this dive down and gets that move done that time. Oh, and there's a wreck behind. It's Manarino and Herschel. Manarino just getting into the back of Herschel's car and spinning him.
Let's take a look at the replay here and see what the cause was. And you see Poe diving to the inside, going onto the back straightaway. Nice move there, but that's what happens. Herschel gets a little loose, and I also think Manarino just a little too quick on the exit, and just nowhere for either of those 2 drivers to go. So we'll see what happens as Herschel, his race essentially done, as he has been shown the meatball flag. And let's see, are we at 1 lap to go? No, we're 2 laps to go as Olsen comes across the line once again. So still plenty of racing left to go. Here's Herschel, toes in the pits. His race is effectively over. Lada with the slowdown penalty, but Devereaux and Manarino still neck and neck as Schmidt. You see Schmidt up ahead in 13th, looking nice and pretty. See if Murray and Scheib can battle each other into a 3-way battle here for position, but still plenty of time left for anything to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Still lap plus 2 laps to go for some of these cars. Is now Larson with the black flag. So we did have somebody hit the incident limit tonight. Alex Larson, unfortunately, is going to be that one, and going to have to come in and get that. He's got to stop this next time. So you got to get that stop done before the white flag. Otherwise, it's just a time penalty at the end, and you see him losing the rear of the car there. That is turn 9, very difficult corner. Gets it, caught back up, but obviously that 2X for the loss of control was what did the damage. And so Alex is going to have to come in once again, get that drive-through served to keep from having that time applied at the end, as we're now back on board. Ling and Olsen, nice 2-second gap to Carwile in P2. Goff is way far back in 3rd, so I don't think there's going to be much of a battle here unless Carwile comes up with something very dramatic here on the last lap.
Well, it's going to take Carwile a hope and a prayer to get up there. White flag is out. 1 lap to go for your leader, Lincoln Olsen. He has just been nothing but dominating since the drop of the green flag. And it's going to like we said, it's going to take a monumental effort for Carwile to make his way up, but really 2nd place. Nothing to sneeze at for the young driver as he makes his way around Ryan Goff again, 9 seconds behind in 3rd. And one driver we haven't mentioned much is Ari Ryder in 4th place. He's won the most races, but, you know, 4th place is just a bad day for somebody like Ari, who has really had a stranglehold on this championship. And that's saying something when you can drop a 4th place as one of your worst finishes. Down into turn 12, Lincoln Olsen makes his way around again. And I think all our battles are kind of even out. If anything, we might see a finishing battle for that 18th as Larson actually has not answered the call for the black flag, so they'll have to come in and take care of that. There's Larson right there, so they're not going to be able to do that, to say the least, because he really can't do that on the very final lap. So time penalty be assessed to Alex Larson, and with them being they're the stewards of the race, well, that's pretty simple to do. Yeah. Olsen around the final couple of corners as the number 16 has been oh so good here, and where the stars at night are big and bright deep in the heart of Texas. One final turn for Olsen as he will come around for a dominant flag, I wouldn't say flag to flag, but pretty darn close to flag victory. Checker flag is out. Olsen is your winner. Carwile in 2nd place, and we still got a gap to go to Ryan Goff.
Yeah, but a big battle with him and Ari Ryder. They're coming down to the start-finish line, and it's going to be Ryder. And that might have been a little sportsmanship there by Ryan Goff after the contact earlier. So I think that was just Goff giving him a payback there. Is just pulls over to the left and lets Ryder come through. So kind of looking down the list there, Zane Cross and Brennan Latta have finished within a second of each other, but really great race. Lots of battles throughout the field as we see Murray coming across. And so some really dramatic battles there, some big packs doing battle, some incidents here and there. Come to expect that from a big course like this. Lots of different lines, and once again, still not a lot of laps on for some of these drivers on this track. So really good racing tonight. Shout out to Ryder Poe there, finishing in P12, 14 positions, hard charger of the race tonight.
Absolutely huge for the young drivers. We're seeing just Gibson make his way around. By the way, shout out to Hayden Saka, 7th place overall and your AM winner here tonight at the Circuit of the Americas NASCAR layout, as you're seeing Rodney Gibson make his way around. And we've got one more finisher, and that is Dave Okun in the number 3. And he will be the last car running, last car on the lead lap across the line. And Okun is your 18th place finisher here at the Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, we don't talk about. We'll give a shout out to Rodney Gibson, because we don't talk about the fact. I just mentioned that, probably not a lot of laps for these drivers on this track. Is even worse for those super lap drivers. They go into the studio to do their racing. And so, you come in and you basically got about 30 minutes of practice before you have to set out for qualifying. So it makes it just that much more difficult. So sometimes getting a race like this finished just feels like a win for some of these drivers. So shout out to Gibson there for getting that race done and dusted. And hopefully we'll find a little more popular track as far as iRacing usage coming up next week.
Well, with that in mind, let's take a look at our finishing order for tonight's race. Again, all results unofficial per pending final outcomes, scrutineering. Oh, wait, we don't do scrutineering here. Lincoln Olsen, your winner over Ryan Carwile. Ari Ryder, your 3rd place driver. Then it's Ryan Goff, Sean Fritz, Andrew Moden, your AM winner, Hayden Saka, with Zane Cross, Brennan Latta, Chris Murray rounding out your top 10, Charles.
Yeah, Richard Scheib finishing in 11th, just outside the top 10 with a very damaged car. Ryder Poe, as we mentioned, finishing in P12. Mike Smith, 13th. Shea Devereaux, 14th. Matthew Manarino finishing in 15th. Drew Leonard in 16th. Rodney Gibson, 17th. Dave Okun, the last car on the lead lap, finishing in 18th. Alex Larson finishes in 19th. Andrew Herschel in 20th, Jackson Olsen in 21st, Ahmed Beydoun finishing in 22nd, Dom Batts finishing in 23rd, Ruben Gutierrez finishes 24th, Trenton McMillian 25th, and Ethan Armbruster, our 26th place car, and also a shout out to Sean Fritz making it back up to P5 after that early incident, and had to work his way back up through the top half of the field.
Let's bring our race winner. Lincoln Olson took the lead early on in turn number 1 and never looked back. I think you were the only car that didn't have any damage on you whatsoever. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks guys. That was really good. I wanted to watch back lap 1, turn 1. I know I went a little wide. Hopefully that wasn't too bad on anybody, but yeah, it was really, really good. I was not expecting that. Usually don't have those kinds of gaps in Miatas.
Yeah, let's talk, and that's the thing too. That's one thing that Charles and I were talking about is it's a different layout than what you guys are used to here in the MX5s. You know, obviously everybody runs the full COTA layout, but you don't normally see MX5s running the NASCAR layout. How did your mindset going into this race kind of change knowing the different layout?
Yeah, it was a little bit of a surprise. I didn't really know. I kind of I joined practice pretty late. I only had about 5 or 10 minutes to get ready for it. The trickiest part was getting used to the track limits. Like I just didn't know what parts of the track we could and couldn't use. So I was kind of figuring that out in qualifying, and had quite a few laps invalidated. But yeah, that was the trickiest part.
Either way, it's been a fantastic race for you, and it's got to be good going up to the front, especially with it being the RE Rider show so far this season.
Yeah, it's been a little bit sore for me. Last week hurt, and yeah, I've had so many close ones this season, but it's all good fun. Glad to come away with another one.
Well, congratulations. As I said, more normal layout next week. Anyone you want to thank?
Yeah. Thanks for my parents and grandparents and everybody else there watching and helping me. I really appreciate that. I want to shout out Hayden Saka. Hopefully he comes in and gets an interview here soon. He got his first AM win. And I also want to shout out Panda Express for an amazing dinner with stir fry and honey walnut shrimp. It really fueled me great for this race.
Better than the Pizza Hut I had for dinner. Lincoln Olson, your winner tonight here in Pro and overall. Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
And we're going to bring in our AM winner, Hayden Saka. Charles has a chance to chat with him.
Yeah, Hayden, congratulations on the AM class victory, 7th overall. So another AM driver up in the top 10 during the course of this race. So we asked Lincoln about the kind of the change in the track configuration. How did you find the NASCAR West layout here at COTA?
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's a lot of fun being out here and being up in the top 10. It's fun running with these guys. But yeah, COTA, it's the NASCAR layout, so obviously track limits played a huge role. There's just about absolutely nothing. You can go wherever you want as long as you don't touch grass or gravel. So definitely played a big factor in, running lap times and learning the track. The guys who knew and were able to run pretty decent, and the guys who didn't, it definitely hurt them a little bit until they learned. So that was a fun race.
Yeah, it's just once again, obviously with a different layout, and even COTA itself not really as widely used as some of the other tracks that we will visit during the course of the season. So we've got another. Obviously, I want to mention this because we caught you on Tuesday in the F4 cars, and you had some pretty good pace. But it just seemed like maybe the track conditions kind of caught you out a little bit there as the rain started to come down there at Snetterton.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I made the bold decision to try and start on dries, hoping I could get a couple laps in and then pit for fuel and new tires. Selected the new tires, but then iRacing glitched and it didn't give me the wets. So I came back out on dries again and had to pit a second time. So pretty unfortunate. But no, it's fun racing in the rain. It's definitely a skill I haven't quite fully acquired yet, but it's fun to learn and get better. So
that's it. That's all part of it, right? So congratulations tonight on the amateur class victory and P7 overall. We'll give you a chance to give any thanks before we let you go.
Appreciate it, guys. Yeah, I'll just give a huge shout out to Michael Schmidt and then the DRSCCA for running the league. It's a lot of fun. I know Waterford Hills Road Racing, SUPERLAP, the Michigan Turn Marshals. This league is what got me into racing. It's what keeps me in it. So really appreciate all them.
Hayden Saka, thank you very much for stopping in, and we'll see you next week.
Of course, guys. Thanks.
And of course, next week we are at the WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca here on Apex Racing TV, 8:15 p.m. Eastern. Charles, that was once again a great race. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week as well. Obviously, Laguna being one of our iRacing based content tracks, free for everybody, gets a lot of usage, especially with the MX5. So I'm looking forward to a fantastic race next week. I think we're going to see lots and lots of battling out on the track, and you're going to see some really fast drivers out there performing to their best. So it's going to be looking forward to it again, as always.
And of course, it's been a great race tonight. And really, in spite of all the damage, we saw some of the best racing that we've seen all season long. But then again, everything surprised me here with the MX5s. Of course, SUPERLAP F4 and MX5 is supported by the Detroit Region SCCA. This league would not be possible without the support of the DRSCCA. Log on to drscca.org for more info. For Charles Beauchelle and Omet back in the booth, my name is Jeremy Scott. Remember to always keep it pointed forward, keep it between the ditches, and always keep it greasy side down. We'll see you next week here on Apex Racing TV.